We are going to do a complete service on this Ferris 500S. In preparation for that, I've got some fluids and some filters we'll go over real quick. We've got a replacement fuel filter, got a replacement oil filter, 2 replacement hydraulic filters, these are for the hydros, some 20 weight 50 hydraulic oil for the hydros again, some 10 weight 30 oil, that's for the motor. We don't have an air filter. We're not going to replace the air filter on this machine. The air filter is clean, but I'll show you where it is and how you would change it. Let's do that first. This machine has a Briggs and Stratton commercial series engine in it. Ferris also makes the 500S with some other motors, Kawasaki motors. I think it's a Vanguard or a Kohler they make in one as well. So changing the air filter may look a little different depending which model you have, but on this Briggs and Stratton, you pull off this cover. Right here, there's a little yellow clip. You bend that down. And this is the air filter. This is a pre-filter. And then inside is the actual air filter. I've already looked at this. This air filter is clean. We're just going to go ahead and put it right back in. Make sure that pre-filter gets in there without bunching all up. Snap your yellow clip back up. Put the cover back on. Tighten it down. Now to change the oil, somewhere you should have a whip on your machine. This is a little oil whip. It makes draining the oil so much easier. I love when they put engine whips like this on mowers, or any small engine for that matter. It makes draining it a whole lot easier. And my drain pan just didn't fit with the length of the whip, so I switched over to a smaller one, but not before I had made a bit of a mess. And once that is drained out and it's not dripping out anymore, I took my new filter, put a ring of new oil on it. You want to make sure that's nicely lubricated. That will make for a better seal. And then I reached in here and took the old filter off. It just makes a mess changing this filter because it dumps a bunch of oil right on the motor deck. I just did the service on an Exmark Laser Z, and Exmark made a cutout in the frame so you can put a catch pan beneath and all of your old oil drains out into that. That was a much better design. I really liked it. Now I'm screwing the new filter back on. That wraps it up for the oil filter. We can move on next to the fuel filter. If you flip up the seat on the mower, you'll see a line that leads from the fuel tank towards the motor, and somewhere in that line there should be a fuel filter. This is mine, and I'm undoing those clips right now. And then the fuel filter should pull right off. Here's the new fuel filter, and on the fuel filter there should be a little arrow at some place on the fuel filter that designates flow. Arrow is pointing this way, that's our tank, this is our motor, so we want it flowing towards the motor. Reinstalling the filter is easy. Slide the lines back on and move those clips back into place. And if possible, you want to line them up so they fit exactly on the hose like they were before. That discourages leaks from happening. Now it's time to jack up the motor and drain the hydros. You may have heard me refer to it as hydraulic filters and hydraulic fluid, and I think that's technically correct because it is going into a hydraulic system, but the oil is actually a motor grade oil. It's just got a specific weight to it. It's 20 weight 50. Once the tire's off, you can see the oil filter right here, and I'm taking down the shield that covers that filter. That keeps any debris from striking it and damaging it. Then using that adjustable wrench again, I was able to loosen that filter and pull it off. Make sure you have a large enough catch pan to catch all the oil in here. There's probably going to be at least 2 quarts. It can fill up a catch pan pretty quickly. And here's a front on view, and when we get to the other side, you'll see what the shield looks like a little bit better. Here's the new filter. This is a Stens filter. I'll link the part I used in the description below. I'll link all the filters and fluids I used in the description below, so you can just get that for your machine if you have this machine. I'm using a little towel to clean off the mating surface, and then I put the new filter carefully up in here. There's some crud up and around here. You know, this is one of the lowest parts in the mower, so it gets some debris. You don't want to get any of that into the hydraulic or hydro system. All right, let's do the one on the other side. Wheel comes off just like before. And up underneath here, this is the shield that covers the filter. There are 2 screws that hold this filter guard in place. Remove those and you've got a pretty straight shot at the filter. It's a little tricky to get this adjustable wrench in there. The filter on this side comes off just like the filter on the other side. I'm cleaning up this side with a paper towel as well, making sure that mating surface is nice and clean. I've pre-oiled my filter seal and I just screw that right into place. Now the guard goes right back into place. Those 2 screws again. And the wheel goes back on, and that does it for changing filters on this machine. Now we can add new fluids. This is 10 weight 30. This is not a synthetic blend. This is just the regular old 10 weight 30. I like to add a little bit at a time. I've overfilled my fair share of motors. And once I see it on the dipstick and see how fast it's growing, I can usually sneak up on the high level pretty easy. I do like to fill my oil up to the top of the high level, maybe just an absolute touch above. Because when you start the mower up, the filter is going to fill up and absorb a little bit of that. And then you're usually right about perfect. Now it's time to fill up the hydro filter reservoirs. Ferris calls for this 20 weight 50 oil. That's what I'm using. I fill it up and then I just wait and let the air burp out of the lines. And this right hydro went pretty fast. It took a couple hours. I just came back, kept topping it off until it didn't take any more, and that was about 2 quarts. The left hydro took a long time to top off, several hours, and it didn't fully take 2 quarts until after I'd been running the mower for a while and kept topping it off after then. Maybe there's an easier way to do it. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. With the mower outside and the rear end jacked off the ground, I disengaged the hydro. With the hydros disabled, as I work the handles back and forth about a half dozen times, neither of the wheels should be spinning. However, the left side is still, and I think that's because it's got air in it still and it doesn't have enough fluid. Running the mower really worked the stubborn air bubbles out of the hydro, and soon the reservoir tank was empty. So I topped that off, ran it again, it drained that, and I just proceeded until the amount of oil in the hydraulic reservoir stabilized at the fill cold level. I re-engaged the hydros and ran the handles back and forth about another half dozen times. Next, I removed the blades from underneath of the mower, and we're going to give them a sharpening. To sharpen the blades, I'm using probably a 40 grit flat disc on an angle grinder. I match the angle of my grinder to be the bevel that is already on the mower blades, and I go back and forth along the length of the blade until I have a new crisp edge. This mower blade has a unique profile. I would assume that's to help cut the grass better, so I just followed that profile. This is the old side and that is the new side. Match the same bevel, same profile, and here's the back. I flattened the back briefly, and that gives you a nice sharp edge that will cut grass very well. It's kind of funny, as I'm working on this little 48-inch mower, there's also this 84-inch mower into the shop right now for repair. That definitely dwarfs the one I'm working on right now. Putting the blades back into place, make sure it's all the way up and contacted on the spindle. You'll feel it slip into a retention point there, and then go ahead and tighten down that bolt. Very nice and snug. Every one of these spindles has a grease point. My grease gun just ran out of grease, so I changed the tube, came back, and added a few pumps. You don't need to go crazy, just a couple pumps will do you. I greased all of the spindles, and then underneath the deck, there's another grease point. The location will vary on this 48-inch. It's on the left side of the mower. There's a grease point over here by the back left tire. There's also one right there by the back right tire. I got both of those, and then up on the front, there's a grease point on each of the front wheels. And once all the greasing was done, this mower has new fluids, new filters, new grease, freshly sharpened blades. Let's go out and see how well it cuts. This mower mows exceptionally well. I've never mowed on a Ferris before. I know a lot of people like them, and now I see why. We bought this mower at auction. It only has 250 some hours on it. These units sell new for over $7,000. We serviced this mower, new fluids, new filters, freshly greased, freshly sharpened blades, made sure everything was working correctly, and sold it for $4,000. Somebody got a great mower for a great price. We are a welding and fabrication job shop in Indiana. We'll tackle just about any project. Subscribe and you'll see whatever comes next.